You know, it's not often that I go about looking for videos and start talking about them and criticizing them. And if I ever do decide to criticize a video like I'm about to do right now, it's not because I'm looking for trouble or I want to pick on them or I want to be a bully. I'm just doing it for criticism. This video in particular that I'm about to share with you caught my attention, and I want to thank the people at my Discord for bringing this up to my attention. It even caught the attention of Evan Falarka, who's also a pretty good friend of mine, and I've done plenty of collaborations with in the past. And I'm surprised that he even responded to this. And when I saw this video, I could not believe my ears and my eyes. Just some of the things that you're about to witness in this video is just completely outlandish and just nonsense. And it just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. So let's go ahead and go to the video. And the one I'm talking about, it's titled Spider-Man 2 PS5 just got major news, in all caps, major news. And then you'll find out, just letting you know, you're going to find out after watching this 8-minute video that there was nothing new about Marvel Spider-Man 2 in this video. It's just a video about theories and nonsense theories, that is. Anyways, welcome to News to Astonish. My name is Ronnie. If you're new to the channel, be sure to like, subscribe, and click on the bell notification so you all don't miss anything. We post Marvel-related content here on the channel, including Marvel Spider-Man-related content, and we are hyping Marvel Spider-Man 2. So if you actually want news and theory videos about Marvel Spider-Man 2, then definitely subscribe to the channel. It's definitely going to help out the channel a lot. So anyways, let's go ahead and get back to the topic of the video right here now. Now, I did make some notes, so I am going to be reading off of some notes that I wrote down because it is an 8-minute video and I just don't want to lose my train of thought. And along with the notes, I do have the timestamps so I can recall what I was going to be talking about. Anyways, let's go over the video here. We're going to go ahead and play on this bad boy. And it's actually muted, so let me go ahead and try it again. So anyways, let's go ahead and play on this bad boy here.
2018 Spider-Man was one of the greatest
Jeez, loud intro took me by surprise.
superhero games of all time. There's no debate. Insomniac Games blew us away. I mean, an open-world Spider-Man adventure. It told a unique story. It perfectly adapted the character's universe from the comics straight to the game world. Plus, Insomniac catered to Spidey fans everybody. We had a plethora of costumes that spanned the entire history of
plethora of costumes that spanned the entire history of the character? I would argue that isn't really a plethora of, per se, but rather it's a portion of costumes. Believe me, there's room for more. And from what I recall, there was only about 38 costumes in the game. Just saying.
History of the franchise and the character. They then followed up in 2020 with Spider-Man Miles Morales, a standalone sequel that may not have had the same impact in the story department, but it featured a ton of additional gameplay possibilities, even if the framework, well, it was copy-pasted from the first game. Welcome to Video Game Leaks, everybody. Today, I have some huge news. News in regards to Spider-Man 2 being in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Yep.
So Marvel Spider-Man 2 being in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and I'm quoting that because that's what he just said. What does that even mean? Like, seriously, Marvel Spider-Man 2 will be in the MCU? So this version of Spider-Man will show up alongside with Tom Holland's version of Spider-Man, if that makes any sense, because that doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
Yep. Now, Spider-Man 2 was announced last year with a trailer that confirmed a lot of things. We have the Iron Spider suit. Fan favorite character Venom's going to make a major appearance, likely as a main villain, I would think. And over the months, there have been a lot of leaks regarding the next Spider-Man game, as it's still rather unclear when exactly the game will launch. And in the era of constant delays and cancellations, people are worried, but fear not.
So why would you call that suit in the trailer of Marvel Spider-Man 2 the Iron Spider suit? It hasn't even been confirmed to be called the Iron Spider suit. Just because it bears a resemblance to the Iron Spider suit from the comics and the movies because of its mechanical arms doesn't make it the Iron Spider suit. I get it. Some people need to give it a name, so they'll just call it that so that way they can distinguish it. But there are multiple Iron Spider suits now in MCU canon and in Marvel Comics. We don't even know what it's called yet. For now, the unofficial title of the suit is the Advanced Suit 2.0. That's what everybody seems to be calling it, in my opinion. That's what I hear.
But fear not. Fear not, guys. We have you covered. That's what we cover here on Video Game Leaks. All gaming leaks and rumors. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you do the little magic wizardry stuff with the notifications so you get all notifications. You guys are doing great with that. And we've got some interesting news to shed some light on what to expect from the upcoming Spider-Man game and possibly make everything surrounding the game even more hype. That's right, we're a hype channel at times, and this is a hype video. Now, the first Spider-Man game featured a brand new universe that's never been seen before. It offered up new versions of characters we all know and love. Who's your favorite villain in the Spider-Man universe? What's your favorite Spider-Man suit? I mean, it pulled a lot of influence from various movie and comic interpretations of the character, but Insomniac Spider-Man, it was its own universe. Officially referred to as Earth 1048. That's right.
I'm sorry, you said Earth 1048? Buddy, just say Earth 1048. It sounds so formal and unnecessary when you say Earth 1048. That just sounds stupid.
That's right. Now, this is likely also going to be the universe that Insomniac's Wolverine game will take place in, but that's a video for another day, which we will be doing. The game is also heavily influenced by Sony as their own Insomniac games, as well as the movie rights to Spider-Man. Now,
I disagree. Both Marvel Spider-Man and Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales are not heavily influenced from the films. They're pretty much their very own thing. Maybe there are some nods and Easter eggs that you can find from the movies and various Marvel shows, but that's just about it. I think heavily is just the wrong term to use here.
This is where there have been countless controversies surrounding Spidey appearing in the MCU. Now, why movies like Venom and Morbius, praise be to Morbius' name, take place in their own little bubble. Okay?
That's right.
That bubble has gotten particularly murky over the last few years. The end of Venom Let There Be Carnage, spoiler alert, showed that Tom Holland's Spider-Man does exist in the Sony universe. And at the end of Spider-Man No Way Home, spoiler alert, it brought Venom into the MCU for the first and so far only time. Now, Morbius, it muddied the waters up even more. We had an appearance of Adrian Toomes from the MCU, as well as brief references to the Amazing Spider-Man's version of Oscorp. Needless to say, Sony's been making things a little confusing. So why do I bring all this up? This is not a Chaos Multiverse video. It's a video game leaks video. Why are we talking about movies in a video about games? Well, I have a...
Oh man, the classic asking questions so the time can go by in the video so that way you can just reach your 8-minute mark. My God, he just keeps repeating exactly what he was saying about 2 minutes ago, at least the first minute into the video. Oh my God, just get to the point, man.
Games. Well, I have a theory, my friends. It was revealed very recently that Insomniac Games have hired Davidson Carvalho as their new art director for Spider-Man 2, replacing the original game's duo Grant Hollis and Gavin Goulden. It's reported that Hollis and Goulden have moved on to work on Wolverine, and Insomniac has handed art directing duties for the upcoming Spider-Man sequel to Carvalho. Why is this big news? Because Davidson was the concept artist for Avengers Endgame and Thor Love and Thunder. He has the...
Oh my God, wow. This isn't big news whatsoever. Neither should you look way too deep into this kind of news. You'll all see where he's going with this, guys. Like, seriously, he's under the impression that Marvel's Spider-Man 2 will be canonized to the MCU just because David Carvalho, worked on MCU projects and he was the concept artist for those films. Like, seriously? I actually just made a video about this like 2 weeks ago. And in no way did I ever think that a video game would like tie into a live action Marvel movie. This is just absurd to even think about that. Like, seriously, it's a gig, dude. Like, this doesn't mean anything. Maybe Davidson just wanted to work on some video games for a change instead of keep making art for movies. That's a possibility. He's just looking for something new. And luckily, Insomniac Games recognized him for his amazing work on the MCU concept art. And that's just pretty much it. This is where like the theories start to get outlandish. Just because, somebody who worked on MCU projects was brought on to do Marvel Spider-Man 2 concept art, he thinks that there's going to be some sort of connection from the games to the movies. And that's just an outlandish theory. It is nonsensical. It just doesn't make any sense.
He has the experience working on giant superhero projects. Endgame is about as big as you're going to get, at least right now. And he knows how to bring tons of characters together for emotional showdown. So let me give you a theory here and see if you're on board with me. I think Sony is going to try Spider-Man 2 in the MCU. Now, before you start disliking the video,
I think Sony is going to try Spider-Man 2 in the MCU. I think Sony is going to try Spider-Man 2 in the MCU. What does that even mean? How do you try a game in a Marvel Cinematic? That doesn't make any sense. Yeah, again, what the hell does that even mean? They'd already established Peter Parker Spider-Man in the MCU. It's been stated before by Insomniac Games. Marvel's Spider-Man is very much its own thing. For more clarification, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, it is mentioned that their universe, where he comes from, and Spider-Man, of course, takes place on Earth 616. And you say before you start disliking the video, because you don't even believe in your own theories, and your theories are just asinine. That's why you say before you start disliking the video, because you believe this video is stupid.
Before you start disliking the video, let me explain. The two main villains from Spider-Man 2 are believed to be Venom and Kraven the Hunter. As you know, Venom has already had 2 financially successful movies in the Sonyverse, and Kraven the Hunter is going to get his own release next year.
Yeah, I could care less about the Kraven the Hunter film that's coming from Sony.
You'll also remember that Sony has recently been making some pretty obvious pushes to get their Sonyverse associated with the much more popular and marketable MCU. Now, aside from Into the Spider-Verse, Sony's non-MCU movies haven't been very good. Venom movies, they're fun to watch. Morbius movie got some good memes out in the world, but they're not critical smashes like the MCU is. Sony knows that. They know they're probably not going to reach the same.
Just gotta say, you're detracting from the point. I thought this was major Marvel Spider-Man 2 news. Now you're just talking about the movies?
The same heights as the MCU without tying themselves into it, and that is where you can start to increase your MCU references. Sony movies, Venom 2, it broke the internet with the...
Right there, see, that was unnecessary verbal diarrhea. You said the same thing just about twice right there. You're stalling for time. That's all you're doing. You're trying to hit that 8-minute mark for YouTube, which you actually did right here. You know, it ends right at 8:02 or 8:01, and it's ridiculous. I mean, your video is clocking in right there at 8:02. I mean, I gotta say, hey, nice. You gotta chase the YouTube bag money, right?
Too. It broke the internet with the reveal of Tom Holland's Spider-Man existing in the franchise. The reveal of Toomes and Morbius did a similar thing. Sony knows they can make a ton of money and get a ton of free pub by loosely tying their movies to the MCU and teasing a crossover. But what if they were doing that with their games? Sony's Spider-Man game takes place in its own universe, but Spider-Man 2...
You see how you contradict yourself?
Big screen characters. Like I said, Venom already has 2 movies under his belt. Third one on the way. Kraven the Hunter, about to make his cinema debut. It's pretty obvious that Sony has heavy creative input on games that they fund, so what if they're intentionally using Sony's big screen characters in the new game because they have bigger plans? I have a theory that
No, it's not obvious video game leaks, and I'm sorry, like, I don't know your name, but that would be called a coincidence if you haven't heard. As is, Insomniac Games has most likely been working on Marvel Spider-Man 2 for like the past maybe 4 years. For all we know, and by that time, they already have decided to use Kraven as a villain in Marvel Spider-Man 2. So technically, Insomniac Games did probably come up with the idea first.
I have a theory that Spider-Man 2 is actually going to find a way to tie itself into the MCU's multiverse, and Sony will then use it as another footstep to the MCU's level of popularity. Now, with the recent hiring of someone who worked on Avengers Endgame, it's clear Insomniac has some big ambitions for Spider-Man 2, and it's going to be a huge game. Then when you factor in that Kraven the Hunter and Venom are looking like the 2 main villains, then you factor in that Sony is footing the bill for the game, then you factor in the fact that Kraven and Venom are parts of the Sony movieverse, and then you factor in that Sony's movieverse is officially tied to the MCU.
All right, quick question. What are you smoking? Because you're talking way too fast. Also, you are right about one thing, and that is that Insomniac Games and PlayStation, this is going to be their most ambitious Spider-Man game ever. However, and again, you're looking way too deep into this. I swear, just now, I bet you're starting to feel like Ace Ventura when he talks so fast and he's like, you know, coming up with like the best theory when he's like trying to solve a case. You probably feel like Kronk from The Emperor's New Groove when he says, oh yeah, it's all coming together. That's you right there. You're connecting things that are completely irrelevant to one another.
MCU, you start to see the map I'm drawing here. All it takes is a simple reference to one of the movies in the script or hidden around the open world, and Sony would then be able to say the game is part of the MCU.
Holy shit, what a bold claim that was. All it takes is one simple reference from the movies and Sony will be able to say that the game is part of the MCU? What? What kind of presumptuous claim is that? Like, you do realize that the Marvel Spider-Man games are riddled with Easter eggs from shows and movies, right? Like, okay, here's an example. The Iron Spider suit from the Infinity War films and Endgame, just because that Spider-Man suit is in that movie or in the game, does that mean that the game is canon to the films? No. Hey, Foggy and Nelson's place where they practice law is in Marvel Spider-Man. Does that mean that Daredevil is also canon to Marvel Spider-Man or vice versa? No. I'm going to piss blood. Like, seriously, just like I just lost a bunch of brain cells just listening to this crazy, outlandish theory.
And you can imagine all the extra pub
imagine.
and day one sales that Spider-Man 2 will get if it's rumored to be part of the MCU. Sony doesn't even have to confirm or deny that the game is part of it. They just have to get the rumor started. I mean, sure, we might be doing their job for them with this video, but you can imagine if that's where we're about to go. Are we really going to have...
No, you're not doing a job or favors for Sony or anybody. You're actually just wasting people's time with this nonsense, dude. Like, even Evan Falarga called you out on this nonsense. I did the same as well. I'm only making this video to make everyone aware about the stupidity.
Really going to have a multiverse that spans across movies, TV shows, and video games?
No, we're not.
I hope
That's
so.
not gonna happen.
Does this set the stage for more MCU video properties in the future? Maybe even MCU games from Insomniac in the future?
No, it's not gonna happen
I think
either.
we are now officially in the world of wild speculation, but you can't tell me it's not impossible. Nobody would have thought Andrew...
I honestly believe that speculating the MCU is going to be making any video game adaptations anytime soon is complete nonsense. That's just not going to happen. Like, again, Marvel Spider-Man and its sequels are very much their own thing, and it should always remain that way anyways. So why even bother making this video?
Impossible. Nobody would have thought Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire would ever don the Spider-Man suits again.
Impossible.
Yet there they were. Nobody ever thought Charles Xavier would come back. Yet there he was in his big floaty yellow wheelchair. Maybe his recent hiring of the ex-MCU worker means nothing. Maybe it's a total coincidence. Okay.
It means nothing, and like I said before, it is a total coincidence.
Coincidence. Okay, fine. I'll give you that. But you can't deny that it would be absolutely awesome to have Spider-Man 2 in the MCU.
Actually, I can deny. That's where you're wrong, compadre. That I can deny it will be awesome because it wouldn't make any sense. You're talking about a video game crossing over into the real world that is the MCU. Again, Spider-Man 2 in the MCU. What does that even mean? I am quoting you directly. Okay, that doesn't make any sense, video game leaks.
Spider-Man 2 in the MCU. Having an official MCU connection in the world of video games would be an amazing possibility for the future. It would open up so many doors for superhero games in the future, and as complicated as this timeline might get, I'm 100% down for it. Let me know what you guys think. This could be the beginning of other things. Think about the evolution and the constant evolution of Fortnite and all the crossovers they do with Star Wars and Marvel and you name it. What if...
Hey, what if? No, what if nothing? See, that right there, you're not providing a point whatsoever. When Fortnite brings characters from different properties such as Marvel and Star Wars, they're just adding skins to Fortnite. That's all they're doing. The same principles do not apply. Again, you're talking about bringing a video game character into the real world, which doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense because that sounds asinine, and there's already an established Peter Parker Spider-Man in the MCU. And Sony's planning to work with Tom Holland in future movies for at least another 5 to 6 years. So they're good with him. He's most likely going to be Spider-Man for another 6 years probably.
These video games started tying to the actual MCU. What if they were part of the bigger picture and you got to play through that? It would make you feel like you're interacting with the story arc of the MCU as it fleshes out. That's pretty cool. Let me know what you guys think. I'll keep you posted if we get any more news. It's only a theory right now, but if...
Hey, you can actually take your theory and throw it in the garbage.
If we come back in a year or two and it was right, woo, we're on a roll, my friends. I'll see you soon.
Well, I'm actually going to be waiting at least a year or two to see if it was right after all. And then I will make a video in the future. Hopefully I will remember about this one. And I'm sure you guys that are watching this video, you're going to remind me of this one as well to do a follow-up video to see if Video Game Leaks was right after all. And I think he's going to be 120% wrong. I'm just calling it right now. This video was a waste of time. If you want to properly title your video instead of clickbaiting it by giving it the wrong kind of title, you know, at least like call this video for what it is, which is Marvel Spider-Man 2 theories and the MCU or something. You know, like when you spoke about David, I forgot his last name, who did concept art for like Infinity War and Captain America Civil War and Avengers Infinity War. When you spoke about that, it was a cool segment, and it was, you know, it was really cool news to learn that, you know, somebody that worked on the Marvel movies is joining Insomniac Games to do concept art for Marvel Spider-Man 2. You could have called it for what it was. See, when I did a video about it, I treated it as news, but not major news. I just thought it was pretty cool. I mean, I did a 6.5 minute about it, and it's right here on my channel. Insomniac Games hires MCU artist as art director of Marvel Spider-Man 2, and that's it. Nothing about that says that Marvel Spider-Man is going to be transitioning, or at least be canonized to the MCU. Nothing about that just screams, oh my god, Marvel Spider-Man games and future Marvel games are now canon to the MCU. That doesn't make any goddamn sense. I'm just saying. But anyways, guys, let me know what your thoughts about this. I know this is a kind of different kind of video. Like, I normally don't do videos about it where I react to somebody's video to see if it was like, right or wrong, or if it was like dumb or whatever. I normally don't criticize other people's videos, but this one I had to talk about because the nonsense that's just spewing out of this guy is just ridiculous. And Video Game Leaks, if you're watching this, I'm only making this video just to criticize you. Don't take it as an attack. And the people that are watching this video, do not go after Video Game Leaks and harass him or bother him or attack him or anything like that. I'm only doing this because this video to me was just nonsense. And I'm sorry if that bothers you, Video Game Leaks, or anybody that watches Video Game Leaks. I'm sorry if that bothers you. But I just had to tell it for what it is. And if you go read on the comments in that video, it has also like kind of a decent like to dislike ratio. It has like over 1,300 dislikes, I think, out of like 3,000 likes. And most of the comments, even the people that actually watch this video, called him out and they told him like this video is nonsense. It doesn't make any sense, which is true. It is nonsense. But anyways, guys, those are my thoughts. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and click on the bell notifications so you all don't miss anything. And as always, I will see you all in the next comic panel.